Across the vast, golden plains of the African savannah, where the sun beats down mercilessly and the winds whisper secrets of ancient survival, life unfolds in its rawest, most unforgiving form. This is a land where survival isn't a privilege, it's an endless battle. Every moment, every heartbeat is a test. And here, beneath the endless skies and among the scattered acacia trees, there exists only one law: hunt or be hunted. The grass sways gently in the breeze, masking the silent movements of predators that prowl the land with unmatched precision. Each day begins with a single promise that only the strongest, the smartest, and the most united will endure. In this unforgiving wilderness, power is measured not by brute strength alone, but by strategy, coordination, and the ability to adapt. And among the many predators that roam this land, the lions with their fearsome roars, the cheetahs with their blinding speed, the stealthy leopards hiding in the treetops, there is one that rises above the rest through sheer teamwork and tireless persistence. The African wild dog. Often overlooked, frequently underestimated, but without question, one of the most lethal hunters this land has ever known. These are not solitary predators. They are a force of nature, working in perfect harmony, bound by the unbreakable ties of the pack. With slender, athletic bodies built for endurance, and coats splashed with irregular patches of black, gold, and white, African wild dogs are as beautiful as they are deadly. Each individual in the pack has a unique pattern on its fur, making no two exactly alike, a living, breathing work of art moving across the plains. Their large, rounded ears swivel constantly, tuned to the faintest rustle of movement or distant calls that echo across the savannah. But make no mistake, behind their striking appearance lies one of the most efficient and intelligent hunters on the planet. While lions may dominate with brute force and cheetahs may win with short bursts of speed, wild dogs rely on something far more complex. A strategy honed over millennia, a relentless pursuit that pushes prey beyond the limits of exhaustion. For wild dogs, the hunt is not just about the chase, it's about patience. It's about reading the land, predicting every move, anticipating every turn. And when they move as one. A single, unstoppable entity flowing across the grasslands, each member of the pack playing their part to perfection. In this game of survival, their unity is their greatest weapon. As dawn breaks over the African plains, the wild dog pack begins to stir. The air is crisp, filled with the faint calls of distant birds and the rustling of leaves. The pack gathers, nuzzling each other with soft whimpers and chirps, reinforcing the bond that keeps them strong. Today, like every day, survival depends on the hunt. But this is not a random chase. This is a well-rehearsed performance where every role is vital, every move calculated. Their eyes scan the horizon, locking onto a herd of impalas, grazing under the soft light of the morning sun. The dogs remain low, their bodies tense, muscles coiled like springs. Communication is silent, but understood. With just a glance from the alpha, the strategy unfolds. Some members quietly begin circling wide to cut off potential escape routes, while others position themselves for the first push. The impalas, unaware of the danger lurking in the grass, continue grazing peacefully, but peace in the savannah is always temporary. And then, it begins. The pack bursts from the undergrowth in a synchronized wave of speed and purpose. The startled herd scatters, but the dogs are relentless. Unlike the cheetah, who relies on a short, explosive sprint, wild dogs are built for the long game. They are the marathon runners of the animal kingdom. Mile after mile, they drive the herd forward, never slowing, never letting the prey rest. It's a battle of endurance, and the dogs know they hold the advantage. As the chase stretches across the plains, the pack's strategy becomes clear. While some dogs push from behind, keeping the pressure on, others surge ahead, cutting off the prey's path, anticipating every swerve and turn. It's as if they can read the mind of their quarry, predicting its next move before it makes it. There is no chaos in this hunt, only perfect coordination. Minutes turn into miles, and exhaustion begins to take its toll on the impalas. Their breaths come in desperate gasps, legs falter, the strong become weak, and that is when the wild dogs make their final move. One impala stumbles, falling just behind the rest. In an instant, the pack isolates it, surrounding it from all sides. There is no escape. The end is swift, merciful by savannah standards. The pack has succeeded once again. But what truly sets the wild dogs apart is not just their hunting skill, it is their loyalty to each other. After the kill, the strongest adults do not eat first. In fact, they step back, allowing the pups to feed before anyone else. The youngest, the future of the pack, are always the priority. And if an injured or sick pack member cannot hunt, they are not left behind. The others will bring food to them, ensuring no one is forgotten. This level of care and unity is nearly unheard of among predators, where competition is often fierce, even within the same species. For the African wild dogs, the pack is everything. Every success, every failure is shared. Every member, from the smallest pup to the most experienced hunter, has a role to play. And in this land of endless danger, where survival is never guaranteed, it is their unbreakable bond that keeps them alive. As the sun climbs higher and the midday heat blankets the land, the pack retreats into the shade to rest. But rest is never complete here. In the distance, lions roam, hyenas lurk, and danger is always just beyond the next hill. But life on the savannah is not just about the hunt. For the African wild dogs, survival is also about staying one step ahead of the enemies that surround them. In this unforgiving land, danger doesn't only come from the prey that fights back. The real threat often comes from the shadows, from those who are bigger, stronger, and mercilessly territorial. Lions are the undisputed kings of these lands, and to them, wild dogs are more than just competition. They are a threat that must be eliminated. Time and again, lions have been known to track wild dog dens, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. They do not hunt wild dogs for food, but out of pure dominance. Every pup killed, every den destroyed, weakens the pack's future, and the wild dogs know this well. On a peaceful afternoon, as the sun begins to dip toward the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, the wild dog pack rests near their den. The alpha female watches over her pups, her ears twitching at every sound. The day has been long, the hunt successful, and the kill shared. But peace on the savannah is always short-lived. From the tall golden grass, a rustle breaks the silence. The pack stiffens, sensing what's coming. Before they can react, a massive male lion emerges, his mane glowing like fire in the setting sun. With terrifying speed, he charges toward the den. The alpha female leaps to intercept, snapping and barking, but she knows she can't match his brute force. The pack erupts into chaos, frantically trying to protect the pups, but the lion is relentless. With one powerful swipe of his paw, he crushes a tiny pup, silencing its cry forever. Panic spreads like wildfire. The wild dogs scatter, trying to draw the lion away, but it's too late. More lions appear from the shadows surrounding the den. The wild dogs are left with no choice but to retreat, watching from a painful distance as their home is torn apart. The lions not only destroy the den, but steal what's left of the dog's earlier kill, devouring the spoils as if to rub salt in the wounds. In the wild, loss is a constant companion. But if there's one thing the African wild dogs have mastered, it's resilience. They don't dwell in sorrow for long. Instead, they adapt, they learn, and sometimes, they find a way to strike back. Several nights later, under the cloak of darkness, the pack regroups. The lions, full and overconfident, have left their own cubs unguarded while the dominant males patrol elsewhere. The wild dogs see the opportunity. Silent as the wind, they move through the night, eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. Their revenge won't come through brute force, but through strategy and timing. They approach the vulnerable lion cubs, knowing that this is the balance of power on the savannah, a life taken for a life lost. In the end, this is the harsh reality of the wild. There is no fairness, no truce, only the constant cycle of predator versus predator, the endless struggle for survival. Every moment of triumph can turn into tragedy. Every loss, no matter how painful, becomes fuel for the next fight. And yet, through it all, the wild dogs endure. They pick up the pieces, find a new den, raise the surviving pups, and prepare once again for the next hunt. Because here in the heart of Africa, giving up is not an option. The pack must carry on, no matter the cost. Their very existence depends on it. As the seasons change, so too do the challenges faced by the African wild dogs. When the rains come, the savannah transforms. The dry, cracked earth becomes lush and green, waterholes fill, and herds of herbivores grow strong with new life. But with this abundance also comes heightened competition. Lions grow bolder, hyenas become more daring, and leopards lurk silently in the shadows, waiting for their chance to strike. For the wild dogs, this means constant movement. They cannot afford to stay in one place for long, especially not with vulnerable pups to protect. Each day begins before dawn, as the first golden rays of sunlight creep over the horizon. The pack gathers, nuzzling each other, reinforcing their bonds before setting out. Their journey is not just a hunt, it's survival in motion. They must find food, search for safe shelter, and always remain alert to the dangers that follow them. On one particular morning, the pack sets its sights on a herd of wildebeest grazing near the edge of a watering hole. Wildebeest are not easy prey. They are larger, stronger, and capable of delivering deadly kicks with their powerful hind legs. But the wild dogs are nothing if not ambitious. With careful precision, the pack splits into two groups. One group advances slowly from the front, drawing the herd's attention. The other circles wide, disappearing into the long grass, waiting for the signal to attack from behind. Suddenly it begins. The front group charges, causing chaos within the herd. Wildebeest scatter in all directions, some bolting towards safety, others turning to face the threat. But this is exactly what the dogs anticipated. From the rear, the second group explodes from hiding, cutting off the escape route of a young, isolated wildebeest. The chase is on. For nearly an hour, the hunt stretches across the plains. The wild dogs take turns leading the pursuit, ensuring no single member becomes too exhausted. This is the secret to their success: endurance and teamwork. As the wildebeest tires, the pack tightens its formation. One by one, they nip at its legs, wearing it down until finally, the animal collapses. Victory belongs to the pack once again. But there is no time for celebration. In the distance, the haunting whoops of hyenas echo across the savannah. Drawn by the sounds of the kill, a large clan of hyenas is closing in fast. And unlike lions who prefer to fight alone, hyenas attack in overwhelming numbers, using their brute strength and crushing jaws to steal meals from others. The wild dogs know they are outmatched. Though fierce and determined, they cannot win against such overwhelming force. With practiced efficiency, they devour what they can, prioritizing the pups and the weaker members of the pack. Every bite counts. Every scrap of meat is a lifeline. Within minutes, the hyenas arrive. The air fills with snarls and growls as the scavengers descend upon the remains of the wildebeest. The wild dogs retreat, not out of fear, but out of survival instinct. They will live to hunt another day. In this endless cycle of give and take, knowing when to fight and when to flee is what keeps them alive. As the sun dips below the horizon, the wild dogs regroup. Tired, but undeterred, they find safety under the cover of night. Tomorrow, they know, will bring another battle, another test of their strength and unity. But as long as they stand together, as long as the pack moves as one, there is always hope. Because for the African wild dogs, survival is not just about the kill. It's about adaptation, endurance, and above all, the unwavering loyalty of the pack. No matter the losses, no matter the threats, they rise each day with a single, unbreakable purpose: to keep running, to keep fighting, and to keep their legacy alive on these wild, ancient lands. As the cool night stretches across the vast African plains, silence blankets the land, but it is the kind of silence that hums with hidden danger. Under the silver glow of the moon, the wild dog pack rests, but never completely. Even in sleep, their ears twitch, always alert to the distant roars of lions or the sneaky laughter of hyenas. The darkness provides no mercy here. Nighttime in the savannah belongs to those who refuse to let down their guard. But the wild dogs are no strangers to hardship. What sets them apart from every other predator on these plains is not just their speed, or their teamwork, or even their intelligence. It's their unshakable resilience. They have endured countless losses. They have been pushed from their dens by lions, ambushed by hyenas, and threatened by diseases brought by human settlements. And yet, every time the odds seem impossible, the pack rises together, stronger than before. As dawn breaks, golden light spills across the horizon, and the wild dogs are already on the move. Hunger gnaws at their bellies. The pups whine softly, their small bodies needing nourishment to grow stronger. The alpha pair, their leadership unquestioned, leads the charge into the day's first hunt. This time, their target is a herd of impalas grazing near the tree line. The approach is silent, ears perked, eyes sharp, every paw step is deliberate. These moments before the chase are crucial. Every member knows their role. There's no shouting, no confusion, just an instinctive, practiced dance of predators working in perfect harmony. Then, like a sudden storm, the attack begins. The pack explodes forward with blinding speed, forcing the impalas into chaos. Dust clouds rise as the herd bolts, but the wild dogs are relentless. They do not sprint for short bursts like cheetahs. They run for miles if they must. They push their prey beyond the limits of exhaustion, anticipating every turn, every attempt to escape. And when an impala falters, just for a second, that's all it takes. The pack surrounds it, each member playing their part with brutal efficiency. In mere minutes, the hunt is over and the feast begins. But even in this moment of victory, the wild dogs display something few other predators ever do: selflessness. The pups eat first. The injured and the elderly are given their share. Only after the most vulnerable are satisfied do the stronger adults feed. This extraordinary sense of unity, of putting the survival of the group over individual gain, is what makes the wild dogs so unique. It's not just about feeding today, it's about ensuring the pack's future. But survival here is not just about hunts and rival predators. The greatest threat comes from outside the animal kingdom. Human expansion has shattered much of the wild dog's habitat. Fences cut across migration routes, roads slice through hunting grounds, disease spreads from nearby livestock, and with each passing year, the wild dog's territory shrinks and their numbers fall. From once thriving across most of Africa, they are now among the continent's most endangered carnivores. Still, they fight on. Against all odds, they adapt. When humans close off one area, they shift to another. When prey becomes scarce, they travel farther. And when tragedy strikes, they regroup and continue forward, because that is the only way they know how to live. As the day fades into another crimson sunset, the pack returns to their den, where the pups tumble and play, unaware of the dangers lurking beyond the tall grass. They are the future, the next generation of painted wolves, born into a world that tests them from the very start. Under the watchful eyes of the alphas, the young ones grow stronger every day, learning the skills they will need to survive. And so the cycle continues. The wild dogs of the African savannah may not rule with the brute strength of lions or the sheer aggression of hyenas, but they possess something far greater: the unbreakable bond of family, the unmatched coordination of a true team, and the heart to keep running, no matter the obstacles ahead. In the wild, there are no guarantees. Every sunrise could be their last, every hunt could end in disaster. But as long as the pack runs together, they stand a chance. And in this land where survival belongs only to the fiercest, the fastest, and the smartest, the African wild dogs prove, time and time again, that unity is the ultimate power. Tomorrow, the chase begins again. Tomorrow, the fight for life continues. And as long as there is breath in their lungs and strength in their legs, the painted wolves will run.